guys, welcome back. I'm here to make another video for you all. So this has kind of been a video I made and then stopped and then remade, and then I didn't like the way that worked out either. So third time's the charm, hopefully. But this is basically the video announcing the rebranding of my channel and what I would like to be formally known as from here on out. So as a lot of you know, I have changed my name on Facebook and stuff. I do prefer to be referred to as Luna, but if people still want to refer to me as Morwidian, which was my original elven name, it won't really offend me very much, because just as people in my life refer to me as my birth human given name, it's not gonna affect me as much as it would somebody else. I mean, refer to me as you would. My preferred is Luna. You can also call me Morwidian. As for people who know me in real life, you know how to refer to me, because I don't really want to get my full name on a YouTube channel where potentially thousands of people could be watching. Not saying that I'll ever get to be that many, but maybe someday. Anyways, today is really addressing the rebranding of my channel that I've been wanting to address for a while. I initially started this channel thinking, oh, well, you know, the elven community is growing. I want to give everybody a chance to grow with the community as well. I wanted to start the YouTube channel to kind of show people it's not as scary to branch out and give more information and be part of a community and to actually make a difference and make a change, which was initially where the Dark Elf of Rivendell came from. I had considered myself a dark elf at the time because I didn't feel much like most of the other elves that were trying to present themselves to the community. Many were trying to say that they were light elves or higher elves, and even though I vibed with the title of elf, it wasn't really a light elf or a high elf or one of the majestic magical beings that you would see. So I went with dark elf, and I actually got a lot of backlash and a lot of hate for that, and a lot of people constantly badgering me and saying mean things about it. Maybe not directly to me, but anytime I'd ever post about it and try to explain further about what being a dark elf meant to me. And I even made a YouTube channel video about it that was, I think I called myself a dark wood elf. I'm not really sure. I'll have to go back and look, but I've grown some since then. I've grown a lot in just a little bit of time. I've been doing a lot of personal work, but I don't define with dark elf anymore. As for me not being on here recently, I had a lot of stuff going on in my life, and I still do. Don't get me wrong. My life is very busy, very chaotic. I mean, not to like break any bad news, but my dad is kind of in the middle of dying at the moment. I've been spending a lot of time with him, helping get all the preparations done for the end of his life, basically. My roommate moved out, so the apartment is now mine. Almost got kicked out of the apartment because of some financial issues. Hopefully have those squared away. I'm gonna be buying a piece of property soon as well. So lots of stuff in a little bit of time. Also, about a week ago, I started a new medication because I finally went to go see a psychiatrist. Just some personal life stuff. The medication makes me very drowsy, and it's just not a fun time. So hopefully that'll all be squared over. But I'm also switching jobs, which is the biggest thing besides my dad out of all of this. And with switching jobs, it takes a lot of time and preparation, and right now me making this video is kind of between my jobs. I'm kind of like at this little limbo point. I'm going to be starting in 2 days at my new job, and I just ended my job 2 days ago, so I have like this little limbo area. So what better time to make an announcement than now? But I'm going to be going into the caregiving business, which hopefully I'll be able to transfer and use some of that for my father while he's at the end of his life. But this will give me a big opportunity to have more time to dedicate towards YouTube, which was a big thing when taking this job, was because I was hoping to have more time. So I am going to be working about 3 12-hour days over the weekend, and then I'll have 4 days off every week. It pays good, there's lots of opportunity for growth, and I'll be caring for people who are on the spectrum or disabled, which is part of being an elf as well, is wanting to care and give and help people, especially those who are not heard and misunderstood a lot, and these people are. So that's one way I'm trying to connect back to being an elf after letting go and getting into this depression for so long and not making videos. So I'm going to be having all of this happen, and I'm going to be making more time for making more videos for you guys. But this video is basically to reintroduce the rebranding. I'm sorry, I know I'm uttering a lot. I even have not really a script, but like a task list right here that I'm supposed to be following, and I still went totally off board. Anyways, the rebranding. As you can see by now, I've probably already changed the name from the Dark Elf of Rivendell to Primal Elven Magic. Now, there's a lots of reasons for this. The main one is not only because I explained the thing about the Dark Elf, I don't want to just be known as a Dark Elf anymore, because I believe that elves work with both dark and light. They are the balance between, they work in the gray, they're the good and the bad, they're the dark and the light. They are the pulling force in the middle of everything. They are such magical beings that they have the power to decide which way they want to go. And just like shamans, there is honestly not really a good and a bad. There is just an everything, and you decide what part of the everything and where in the everything you want to exist. So I don't consider myself a dark elf anymore. I'm just an elf. And you know, as for being an elf, I didn't want the Rivendell to be in my name anymore, because I didn't want to just be seen as a Tolkien elf. I wanted to be an elf that was everything. I don't want to just be Tolkien. I don't just want to be a Pleiadian or a Starseed. I don't just want to be a dark or a light. I don't want to be defined by one thing. There are elves from so many parts of this world, from so many parts of this universe, from our solar system and beyond. And we are literally part of everything, from the smallest speck on an atom to the biggest thing in our world that we could imagine that is livable, I guess. There are elves from every existence and every walk of life. And I don't just want to be known as one, because if we're together as a collective and we're seen as a whole, kind of like how the human race is, you don't just define somebody on what their religion is, or what the color of their skin is, or what political view they have, or which country they're from. Or at least most people who are sensible don't. We don't define by being prejudiced, and we don't segregate and section off people. We exist together wholly as one, and we are the human race, which consists of every human being that's on this planet. No human is greater or lesser than the other. None has more value or less value than the other, and that's how I want elves to be seen. I don't want to just be known as a Tolkien elf. I just want to be known as an elf. And that's what I hope every elf will come to see, is that we can agree to disagree. We don't have to all see the same. We can live, laugh, and love together no matter where we come from, what our background is, or what our views are on the world. We can rejoice together in the things we have in common, and we can be solitary in the things that we don't agree upon, which is totally fine. We don't have to get along on everything to just get along. You know, some of us may be, in a sense, in a human sense, Republican. Some of us may be Democratic. And we don't have to agree on it to come together and have a beautiful picnic and dinner and frolic in nature. We don't have to be the same. We can all be different and still be part of one whole. So basically, I don't want to just be seen as like a Tolkien elf, even though I didn't originally define as a Tolkien elf. I am just an elf of all. And I really like that quote, an elf of all. It's a beautiful thing. Anyways, The primal part, basically getting back to the roots of all that is primal. I'm not sure if I've told you, but I think I mentioned it somewhere in the forums on Facebook. I define a lot with the primal spirit, which is the animal spirit, the get back down to it. I believe that everybody has an animal spirit in them, in a sense, and that we all kind of can connect back to that primal part of ourselves. For me, I connect a lot with a wolf or primordial canine energy, and it helps me connect more back to nature, to find the roots of where I feel is one of the biggest connections. My friend, who is actually probably my best friend and my soul sister, she is a fairy, or she defines as a fairy or a fae, and her primal connection actually is I don't really know exactly how to describe it. It's more of like a primordial feline energy. It's hard to put it into words. I'm gonna make a video about it later on, but that's where the primal comes in. And then magic, just what it is. It's beautiful, it's wonderful, it's creative, it's bubbly, it can be good, it can be bad, just everything. The world and existence is magic. We're magic. I'm magic. Me existing right now, yes, science can explain it. Science can explain the fact that I am literally thousands, millions of cells and little teeny tiny electric particles that are making a meat suit move around and do things and talk to you right now. But if we hadn't known that, it would be unexplained and it would be magic. All the things that aren't explained in this world, and even things that are explained, everything in this world is magic. And trying to romanticize it and get back to those roots is just a beautiful thing. I feel that we should romanticize and get back to the roots on a lot of things, because with the world and how fast-paced it is, simple living is getting squashed out, and I know a lot of people are trying to get back to it, but it's getting harder and harder every day with the demands of all this modern technology. And even right now, I'm recording on a GoPro. It's probably one of the higher tech cameras out there. I have my ring light, you know, I have my phone right next to me. I even have a laptop sitting over in this area where you can't see. I even have a TV behind the whole entire setup, and lights and everything. We are surrounded by technology every day. I mean, even to cool down my house, I have an AC unit running, and we let it take over our lives, and we don't ever just stop for a moment to sit down and to just think and be thankful for the here and now. And that's a lot of the reasons why I got put on this medication, is because I was so depressed with how terrible I was convinced the world is, that I had to get put on an antidepressant. And I could have helped myself naturally, and I do plan to in the future, but I was literally so lost. I'll be honest, even as an elven soul who believes in magic and who believes in spells and enchantments and potions and unexplained things that can bring me happiness and manifestation, I was to the point where I honestly just wanted to end it all. And it was very sad. And honestly, I'm still kind of floating just right above it. But it's okay, because I'm still looking for reasons to move forward, and everybody should. Just know that that's a very real part of people's lives. Didn't mean to make this all dark and depressing, but even elves can feel that way too. On to the next thing. I really just want this channel to be all things, all elven things, if you will. So things, I have a list right here, things such as the elven lifestyle, elven fitness and health, because that is another big thing that I really want to incorporate. I want to show natural ways to be fit and healthy in an elven perspective, because I believe that that's a big part that a lot of people just look over nowadays, because they don't care and they don't want to put in the work, because people make it seem so boring and terrible, when it doesn't have to be. It can be a beautiful, wonderful thing. I mean, there's several forms of it. I'll make individual videos on all of these topics, but anyways, elven spirituality and my views on it and how I see it as just an elf of all. Herbalism and natural medicines, which will kind of be around the time that I start transitioning off this medication. Probably going to be taking this medication for a while, and I still have a lot of herbalism and natural medicine to study, so it'll be a while before I actually start talking about that and truly start to like show a lot of it. The fitness and health will probably come first, as well as spirituality and lifestyle. Hairstyles and fashion. I mean, right now, as you can see, I have this flowy, it's like a tunic, but it's also kind of like a dress. I really, really love it. It's probably one of my favorite things. It's from Holly Clothing. I was actually gifted this a really long time ago, but I plan to, with my new job, I don't really have a dress code, so I can expand my fashion more because I'm also going to be having 4 days off a week that I can wear what I want. So expanding my fashion more, and my hairstyles, which can help a lot with peace of mind and how you see the world, and romanticizing it, which is a really big thing too that I think a lot of people lack to do in their life, especially elves and fae. We are always so depressed and sad when we're not actively trying to romanticize our life and try and making it this big grand adventure that we really should be making it, and when we're not getting out in nature and we're neglecting ourselves. So fashion and hairstyles is going to be another one of them. History about where the elves came from, and not even just in the sense of Tolkien, but like Irish folklore, Germanic folklore, the folklore and the history of the natives and elves. Canada even has stories, starseeds and Pleiadians and their history, because they're connected to the elves as well. The fae and the elves, lots of different stuff. Hopefully when my soul sister actually gets to a good place and she can get a camera and stuff, she will hopefully be recording YouTube videos and posting them too on her perspective, but not from an elven lifestyle, but from a fae and a fairy lifestyle, because I think she's gonna call herself instead of primal elven magic, I think it's gonna be primal fairy alchemist, because she isn't just in the magical side of things. She really likes science, and alchemy is part of her science, and she really wants to get into alchemy. I would have really liked to use the word herbalist, but there's so much more than just herbalism that I want to talk about, and I think herbalism can also be congregated into the topic of magic, because sometimes it isn't just the herb that has to work. You have to believe too. It can't always just be a placebo effect. I mean, it could all just be a placebo effect, because if you really do believe in something, I guess it can work for you. But I mean, there is also like the believing it'll work and then the actual thing that'll work, which is kind of where magic comes in. Anyways, on to the next thing. The last and final thing that I have, at least on my list that I wrote down, is cooking and recipes. And I will be honest, I've tried, it's also a reason why I've been very depressed. I've been going back and forth with a lot of stuff to do with my health, my fitness, my cooking, my eating style. I tried to do vegan for 5 years. And yes, I know it's very doable, but I got very sick because I was very uneducated, like a lot of people were. And then I quit being vegan, and I let myself spiral, and it really affected my mind and my mentality. Which is also another reason that led me to be on these pills. But I went down a very deep, dark rabbit hole, and I even tried to be vegan several times again since then, because it seems like that was going to be the thing that would fix me. And it's not going to be the thing that is going to fix me is to be vegan. The thing that's going to fix me is being smart and knowing what I need to eat and what I need to do. So what I'm going to be doing is, I consider myself right now, I'm going to be working towards being paleo. So yes, I will have things like meat on my channel. I do not eat dairy. I do not eat cheese or anything like that. I usually will only do like organic, grass-fed, blah blah blah, the best quality that I can get my hands on, sort of thing, and usually it's not even a big part of what I eat. And yes, I know that that's not very elven of me, but in a sense, there's elves from a lot of different walks of life. Being an elf of all means that I need to consider every aspect. Eating meat can be one of those aspects, but knowing that it takes you taking a life of another being, that's just, you have to understand that. And I've understood that and had experience with that firsthand. I put myself through that and made myself experience what it was like to actually take the life of an animal. I had to put down a doe, unfortunately, that had gotten blunt head trauma from getting hit by a truck, and it didn't fully kill her. And me and my sister had to put her down and out of her suffering. It was probably one of the most gruesome things ever, but gave me that much more respect and knowledge of where the food that I'm eating is coming from. And it's given me a lot of insight. Right now, I'm not fully paleo. I am trying to convert that way, but it's a slow process, just as everything else. So yeah. Anyways, okay, this will be the end of the video. I'm already 21 minutes long. I didn't plan on editing this video just because I wanted all the quirks and everything in here to kind of show you guys, like, I'm trying to be unfiltered. I do want to eventually make my video quality a lot better, but we'll get there when we get there. But as for now, yeah, so that's all that I really wanted to talk about. And like I said, this is my third time filming this, so I hope this one is the one that goes up. But thank you guys so very much for bearing with me. I appreciate you all, and I hope to have another video coming soon. The next 2 weeks will be filled with training for my new job. So after the training for my new job is here, and after I've settled in to like a routine, because I'm going to be working 3 12-hour days, after I get my sleep schedule and everything all said and done, hopefully I'll have everything good and evened out and have a consistent YouTube schedule. Also, go follow me on my Instagram. I haven't posted a lot there, but it's Primal Elven Magic, as well as my TikTok, which is also Primal Elven Magic. I'm a little bit more active on my TikTok right now. I've made a few videos. I made a lot of videos actually, but I've made a few more recently that were of an adaptogen series that I'm doing, and more of a nature series. But those are pretty fun. So go follow me on those things. As for now, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys very much. I hope you have a beautiful day, evening, night, you know, whatever it is, wherever you are. But thank you very much, and have a beautiful evening. Bye. GoPro, stop recording.